We are back for Saturday night special. Colorado Rockies season replay, game number 14. We're in San Diego for the second of a three-game series. Rockies lost the first game of the series, so they're hoping to even the series in this one. Chase Dollander, a right-hander for the Rockies, against Kyle Hart, a left-hander for the Padres. Padres 10-4 on the replay. Rockies 4-9. For Petco Park, very, very scant for singles, only a 1. Home runs 1 to 10. So Kyle Hart will start things off. Hello, Ben. Kyle Hart, 3-3, 5.86 ERA, split time between starting and relieving. Of course, he had 6 starts. This is one of them. So Kyle Hart will get the start, and Ezequiel Tovar is the batter. I do have the Action PC game up on my screen, or I did until it just bombed out on me. Action PC has a way of doing that sometimes. Let me restart it. I was going to try to give you the averages for the Rockies through the 13 games to this point. So I've got to restart Action PC because it just conked out for whatever reason. It just does that sometimes. Finicky computer stuff, which is why I like cards and dice of both computer games. I only use Action PC, or only want to use Action PC for direct entry to keep my stats. I have played the Action PC game by itself a few times, and it's okay, but it's just, again, I'm more of a cards and dice guy than I am a computer guy, so that's the reasoning behind that. Waiting on this thing to load up. Come on, here we go. It's kind of slow. All right, let's see if we can get this going here so I can get you the stats for the Rockies before we get going. If this thing ever comes up, I'll tell you what, I might just forget about it because depending on the computer, it's not very fun. It is extremely slow. Okay, let's see if we can get it to work before we start playing the game. Dollander is 1-0 on the replay. 1 is only start. And Hart on the Action PC replay is 0-1. Hart is a -1 on his hold. He's a -3. Maldonado's a +2 for a net -1. Dollander's a +7, so it really doesn't matter what the catcher is. He's going to be a +5 regardless. Okay, I think we're almost there. All right, got it open back up, and we're ready to give you the stats. Okay, so Tovar, in 51 at-bats, he's hitting .333, 3 homers, 7 driven in. Here is Tovar. That's a 5.7, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. We're looking at second baseman Iglesias. He's a 2E5. 213, he'll get to that. E5 at second base. The only errors are 16 and 18. And that's a 5. It's a not so rare play. So I don't really even like to look at those things. 213 was a G. Yes, it's just going to be a ground ball off the mound kind of thing. So it's pretty ridiculous. So as it is, it's a 4-3 ground out. That's all that needs to be worried about that. It is a 4-3 ground out. 1 away. And, oops, here we go. Hello, Barbara and Oz, or OZ. Kyle Farmer steps to the plate. He's hitting .243 on the replay in 37 at-bats, a homer and 3 driven in. That's a 4.7. And that's going to be a 1-4 single. Anything else, he will line it to third. And that's a 3, so it's a base hit for Farmer. He is no threat to run, so he will hold. And here comes Ryan McMahon. McMahon is hitting .294 on the replay in 51 at-bats, a homer and 6 driven in. That's a 5.8, lefty-lefty, and that's a line out to first Arias makes the play, 2 down. And that brings up nameless player Chris Bryant. In 29 at-bats, Chris Bryant's hitting 138, no homers and a run driven in. It's a 3-6 against the lefty, and that's a ground ball to short to end the inning. So nothing for the Rockies. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Colorado nothing, and the Padres coming to bat. And right-hander Chase Dollander, he was 2-12 with a 6.52 ERA, 21 starts. But he did win his initial start against the Athletics, so see if he can keep that momentum going. Fernando Tatis is your batter. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. Tatis, that is a 2-4 for Tatis, and that's a split chance. 1-15 is a base hit. And that's a 4. It will be a base hit for Fernando Tatis. He's going to look to get a lead. 2 through 5, 11, or a 12. 2 through 5, 11, or 12. That's a 9. He will not get the lead. He holds for Luis Arias, first baseman. 1-6 for Arias. That's a single, 2 stars. And, well, this looks a lot like last night. Padres jump out early. First and third, nobody out. Arias looking to get the lead. And Arias needs a 4 or a 5. Gets the lead with a 5. He's a 17, being held to 15, but the +5 makes it a 20. So basically a 1-19. And he's in there. It's a possible throwing error on the catcher Stallings. Stallings' T rating is a 12. So 1-12, he could throw this thing away. And he does not, luckily. Probably should have just held on to it. As it is, it's second and third. Nobody out. Bottom of the first. Manny Machado, the batter. Infield is back. They need outs. That's a 1. Dollander's wild pitch is a 3. And there's no wild pitch there. So the infield back for Machado. That's a 1-6, and it doesn't matter where they were. That's a single, 2 stars. Padres lead it 2-0. Rockies fall behind early. Machado going to look for they're going to run on Dollander the whole night, as he's a +7. So Machado, that's a 2, though. It's a chance for a balk or pass ball. It's a balk chance. His balk rate's a 0, but what that does is it means Machado cannot establish a good lead, so he has to hold. And here is Gavin Sheets. That's a 5-8 left-handed, and that's a base on balls. So Dollander just digging himself further in a hole. 2 on, nobody out, 2 in for Xander Bogaerts. That's a 2-6 for Bogaerts, and that's a home run 1-4, double 5-20. That's a double. It's assumed to go to center field. Scoring is Machado. I think Sheets is going to hold with nobody out. They'll just hold Sheets at third. So 3-0 Padres, second and third, still nobody out for Jose Iglesias. And can Dollander get an out is the question. 4-5, ground ball shortstop A, that'll get the out. But I believe on a ground ball A with the infield back, let's see if that scores the run. Well, actually, they would have been in. I didn't state it, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You give it 3 runs already, they're probably going to be in. Yeah, they're going to be in. So it's going to hold the runners there, 1 away for Jason Hayward. Infield still in. I had him in early up here and never changed it, so still in. Hayward 1-9, and that is a ground ball second base C. That would have been a clutch hit had there been 2 outs, but there's only 1 out. With the ground ball C and the runner, the infield in, that again freezes the runners. Ground ball B is where you're out at the plate. I believe a C is simply just going to be, it's a number 1. Yep, runners hold. So 2 outs now for Jason Hayward. Clutch situation for Brandon Lockridge. Lockridge in the clutch is neutral. 3-0 Padres. 5-7. That's a strikeout for Dolander, his first. So oddly enough, it almost seems like a moral victory that Colorado gets out of that with just 3 runs. So we go to the top of the second. It is still 3-0. So let's see here. Sean Bouchard, right fielder. That's a 3-4 for Bouchard, and he strikes out. Got to mention that coming into that at bat, Bouchard was hitting 133 in 15 at bats. I'm sure his average is a lot lower now. Here's Michael Toglia, first baseman. He's hitting a .190 in 42 at bats, a homer and 4 driven in. That's a 1-7 against the lefty. He strikes out. Strikeout number 2. 2 down for Mickey Moniak the Maniac. He's hitting 296 on the replay, 3 homers, 7 driven in. That's a 2-7, and that's going to be a single 1-4. Anything else he lines to second. And he hits a 5. He just couldn't get it past the second baseman, Iglesias, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Hart. So we go to the bottom of the second, 3-0 Padres. And Dolander, let's see if he can have a better second inning than he had the first inning. He's going to face the number 9 hitter, veteran Martin Maldonado. He's been around a long time. And that's a 5-4. And that's a fly ball center field X. And that's Moniak. He's a 4-E11. 4-4. That's going to get down for a base hit. Don't know if it's a double or not. We'll see. 4-4 is actually a double. It is going to be a double. Moniak is an E11, so he's got to avoid 3, 13, 16, and 18, which he does, but it will be a leadoff double for Martin Maldonado. And it's not looking good here in the second inning either. Here's Tatis. 4-8, and that's a single 1-15. 16-20 is a line out. That's an 18. He got a break. It's a line out to short. Snagged by Tovar. 1 away for Luis Arias. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a chance of a pass ball on Jacob Stallings, but his pass ball rating is only a 2. So no pass ball. Here's Arias. 4-7. That's going to bring home the run. 1-7 is a double. 8-20 is a single. 2 stars both sides. That'll be a single, but it's 2-star single, and Maldonado scores. It's 4-0 San Diego. And here's Manny Machado. That's a 3-10 for Machado, and that's a ballpark single check. That's a 1. That's it. It's the only chance he has. And he will foul out to the catcher. 2 down for Gavin Sheets. Hey, Phillip. Sheets. 3-6, and that's a home run, 1-14, double 15-20. And that's a 15. It'll be a double. The double's assumed to go to center. Arias not being held makes him a 12. 2 outs is a 14. Moniak's +1's a 15. 1-15, he scores. And he's out at the plate trying to score on the double to center. Moniak the Maniac made a nice throw to Tovar, and they throw it to Stallings, who puts on the tag. And after all that mess, they only give up 1 run. Amazing. Seems like they should be down 10-0, but it's only 4-0. All right, here is. I'm sorry about the fireworks there, Barbara. I'm this late at night here, I don't want to disturb the peace here, so I'm not going to be as loud maybe as I would in some other games, but I'll try to be loud enough where you can hear me, hopefully. So Jacob Stallings is your batter. That's a 1-8 for Stallings against the lefty, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 3. So that'll send up Zach Veen, another uncarded player. That's a 2-10 for Veen against the lefty. That's a single. First hit of the game, or second hit of the game for the Rockies. Zach Veen gets a base hit. Zach Veen. Here comes Ezekiel Tovar. Veen, no threat to run. Oops. 1-4 against the lefty. It's a ground ball to short. They get the fielder's choice, 6-4. Now Tovar could think about running, but you're down 4-0, so I don't know about all that. So yeah, we're not gonna take a chance on the bases here. Doesn't make sense to do that. Here's Kyle Farmer. There's a 5-7, and that's ground ball second base X. Now they were holding Tovar on, so the second baseman Iglesias jumps from a 2 to a 3. He's a 3 E5 now, but 15 it doesn't matter anyway. E5. And that's a 12. The only errors on E5 for a second baseman are 16 and 18. So 12 is going to be just fine, and that will do it. So we go to the bottom of the third. Still 4-0 Padres. And Chase Dolander back out. He's given up 4 runs, but honestly, it felt like he gave up 8. I mean, it could be a lot worse. 4-10 for Bogarts, right-hander, is a ballpark single check, so only a 1 there, so should be a fly to center, and it is 1 away. Good thing this game is not in Coors Field. All these hits would be added on to. Here's Jose Iglesias. Jose Iglesias. That's a 2-9 for Iglesias, and he's out. 1 away. Which game were you referring to, Barbara? I'm sorry. Talking about the Fall Classic game I did at noon today, or are you talking about the game from yesterday? I'm not sure. But I'm glad you caught whatever game it was. All right, here's Jason Hayward. It's a 1-8. Oh, the noon game, the Fall Classic. Okay. 1-8 is a fly to center. It's not my favorite game. It's okay, but compared to Strat, it's not great. But I committed earlier on to do it in Fall Classic, so I'm going to stick with it for that replay for the NBC game of the week. But Strat is my game, and that's what I'm going to pretty much stick to almost exclusively. All right, here, but every Saturday till the end of the regular season, it's going to be the NBC game of the week on Fall Classic, because Strat doesn't have the 79 set, so I couldn't do 79 in Strat-O-Matic if I wanted to. All right, here is Ryan McMahon. That is a 6-5 lefty. That's a home run, 1-5, and a 6-20 is a double for McMahon. McMahon goes deep. He's got normal power against lefties, and the Rockies are on the board. Home run for Ryan McMahon. And for McMahon, that is his second home run of the replay. RBI number 7. Cuts the lead to 4-1. And now we have Chris Bryant stepping in. And that's a 4-6 against the righty. And Chris Bryant's going to do some damage on a 4-6. 1-17 is a double. And that's exactly what he gets. Chris Bryant with a double. Back come the Rockies. Here's Sean Bouchard. 6-4, and that is a walk. Of course, Barbara, if you want to see a really good game, check out my Milwaukee, California game from a couple days ago, 1987 replay, where Mike Witt twirled a no-hitter. All right, here is Michael Toglia, my first ever no-hitter. Toglia facing Hart, 3-9, and that's a strikeout, out number 1. Oh, he did. Kyle Hart is starting this game in real life. Cool. Good deal. Oh, you did see it. Okay. Hello, Larry. Good to see you. All right. I know RJL, I believe it's tomorrow night, he's going to have his demo game in the Inside Pitch Advance, if I'm not mistaken. And the Colorado-San Diego game will be immediately following that demo game, probably around 9:15-ish or so, or whenever he finishes, somewhere in that neighborhood. All right, here is Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. And that's a 6-5, and that's an in-home run chance. He's got normal power, 1-5, and Mickey Moniak will go deep. To 7, he'll settle with a double. At least 1 run will score. That's going to be Bryant. Let's see about Bouchard. Double went to center, so Lockridge is a -2 arm, so I think they're going to hold Bouchard at third base. But 2 runs are in and cuts the lead to 4-2. Only 1 out, and Jacob Stallings with runners at second and third. All right, so Jacob Stallings is up. Now the Rockies, they're going to stay with the infield back. They still lead 4-2. Stallings, 3-6 against the lefty, struck him out. Big strikeout there for Kyle Hart. And now it is Mr. Zach Veen stepping to the plate. Zach Veen. Clutch situation, but with an uncarded player, there is no clutch. So we just play it out. That's a 3-7. Struck him out, strikeout number 5. But the Rockies at least show a little life and get 2 runs on the board. McMahon home run and a double by Moniak, the Maniac, helps get them on the scoreboard. We go to the bottom of the 4th, it's 4-2. And now we got a visitor over here. So let me there is my visitor right there. There's the visitor. Abby wanted to say hi, so she did. Okay. All right. Starting the bottom of the 4th, it'll be Brandon Lockridge, batter. She's not as fluffy anymore, RJL. She just got her hair cut. She's not happy about it. She's definitely not happy about it. Here's Lockridge, 3-3, and that's going to be a ballpark single. So once again, looks like a liner to short to me. That's exactly what we have. 1 away. Here's Martin Maldonado. 6-7. Ground ball second base X. That's going to be second baseman Farmer. 3-E-5. 3-17. He'll get to that. E5 at second base. Only errors are 16 and 18. And he avoids that, so good play. Don't look now, but Dollander has retired 5 in a row. Here's Tatis. Yeah, we were shaving her with the clippers, and she kind of moved a little bit. So I don't know if you ever saw that movie that what was the guy? Crap! Now I forget his name. He was in Sling Blade and some other. Billy Bob Thornton did a movie called Mr. Woodcock. So she's kind of got a Mr. Woodcock haircut there because she moved her head, and so she's got like a little bald stripe on the middle of her head where she moved, and we got a little bit too closer than we wanted to, but we can't help it when she moves her head at the instant, at a split second. It just messes everything up. So, all right, here's Tatis. That is a 5-11 right-handed, and that's a ballpark blast. That's trouble. Ballpark blast, 1-10. It's gone. And it is gone. Right on the number. It is gone. Fernando Tatis. It's a home run to put the lead back to 3 at 5-2. So much for 5 in a row retired by Dolander. Here's Arias, and that is a 5-5, and that's a fly ball to left to end the inning. So we played 4. It is 5-2 San Diego. Now Tabby's jumping down, thank goodness. What do you got going on, Tab? Where are you going, Tab? Oh, you want to go outside? Oh, I might have to let her out the door. Hold on. She's doing what I call the snip snap, where she can't decide whether she wants to be in here or out there. So, Tabby, you want to go out here? Come on. That's good. Come on. We'll go out here. Don't be surprised if by the 6th inning she doesn't claw her way, wanting to get back in. So, but right now we'll play it as is, and Ezequiel Tovar will lead it off against Kyle Hart. This is the fatigue inning for Kyle Hart. In fact, for both pitchers, the 5th inning is the fatigue inning. 6-4, that's a walk. That's one knock against the fatigue. Tovar will be held but won't go anywhere. And here's Kyle Farmer. That's a 5-8, and that's a pop out to short as Bogarts makes the play. One away for Ryan McMahon. He homered his last time up to start a couple of runs for the Rockies. McMahon, 5-3. Fly ball left field X. We're looking at Jason Hayward. He's a 2-3. Ooh, 2 and a 3. That might drop. 2 and a 3 will drop for a single 2 stars. That's going to move the runner Tovar to third base. E2 for Hayward, or I'm sorry, E3 for Hayward has to be a 315 or 18. And it's a 14, so he does not commit the error. But now runners are on the corners. 1 out for Mr. McMahon at the plate. I'm sorry, Mr. Bryant at the plate. Infield looking for the double play ball. That's a 2-6, and that's a strikeout. That is strikeout number 6. And it's up to Bouchard in a clutch situation. He will gain a hit on 1-9 in the clutch. That's a 4-8, and that's a walk. It's going to load the bases. Hart is now fatigued. He has reached his fatigue, so if we get the dot, any dot here will turn to a base hit, and he'll have to be pulled. He's got to finish the 5th inning to qualify for the win. So Tolia is up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Clutch situation for Tolia, and he is completely neutral in the clutch against left-handers. That's a 2-3, and that's a ballpark blast for Tolia. This could be a grand salami. 1-10. Can he do it? Yes, he did. Michael Tolia, a grand slam home run. That's going to do it for Mr. Hart. He didn't have enough heart to finish this inning. Grand salami for Tolia. Look at it again. The 2-3 was the ballpark blast. It's 1-10, and that's a 3. That is out of here, and that's going to do it for Hart. Hart is fatigued. Actually, they're going to let Hart. No, you know what? They're going to pull him. They're not even going to mess around. They're going to pull him. They will go to Wandy Peralta out of the bullpen, a left-hander. Another left-hander. So Wandy Peralta will come in for the Padres. He is 6-1, or he was 6-1 with a 3.14 ERA in the real season. So Wandy Peralta. And he's a 0 hold, which makes him a +2. So we can close the book now on Hart. He's going to go 4 2/3. And he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. And a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs, all of which were earned. He walks 3, and he strikes out 6. But the Rockies now lead it 6-5. Unbelievable. the way this game started, that they could actually have a lead at some point. All right, so here's Mickey Moniak the Maniac against Wandy Peralta. That's a 3-5, and that's a double 1-3, single 4-20. And that is a base hit for Moniak. He's 2 for 3. Brings up Jacob Stallings, catcher. That's a 4-10, right-handed catcher X. We're looking at Maldonado. He's a 3. 3 and a 5. This could be some sort of a pass ball or a wild pitch. 3 and a 5 is a possible pass ball. Possible pass ball. We'll check for an error. He's an E3. The errors are 16 and 18. There is no error there. So the pass ball is dependent on the wild pitch of the pitcher. His rating's a 2. So there is no pass ball. Instead, it will be a pop out to end the inning. But an Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning turned in by the Rockies, and they lead it 6-5. And all of a sudden, Dolander has a chance to get a win. This is his fatigue inning also, though. And he's going to be facing Manny Machado. You are correct, Thomas. Bryant will go in the DL after this game. This will be the last game we have to see Bryant. We still have to see Veen a little bit longer, but it's the last game to see Bryant. Here's Machado, 4-8. 1-15 is a single. 16-20 he lines out. And that's an 18. Boy, they're getting a decent roll there. Line out to the shortstop, Tovar, 1 away. Glad I went to this black D20 versus the white one, which was coming up 1 and 2 all the time. At least this one gives me more variety. Here's Sheets, 1-9 for Sheets, and he struck him out. Dolander, that's only his second strikeout. Actually, third strikeout. And here comes Bogarts. 3-4 for Bogarts. That's a ballpark single, so most likely going to be an out. And it will, so he grounds it to first, throwing to Dolander covering. And that's going to end the inning. So Dolander has full endurance into the 6th. And unbelievably, the Padres lead it 6-5 as we go to the 6th. Peralta will stay out there. He only faced 2 batters. So he will stay out there to face Zach Veen. Lefty on lefty matchup. 2-3 for Veen is a fly to right. 1 away, and that will take us to Tovar, shortstop, top of the order. 2-5 for Tovar. That's a walk. Second walk for Tovar. Let's see. Tovar might get the urge to take a lead here, or at least try for a lead. And he needs a 3 through 6 to get the lead. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. Kyle Farmer, the batter. 2-9 against the lefty, struck him out. 2 down, and that's going to send up Ryan McMahon. That's a 2-8 lefty, struck him out. So that's all for Peralta. He's going to go an inning and a third, Will Peralta. He's going to give up 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And the Padres will need a new pitcher for the 7th. Not sure who that's going to be yet, depending on if they score some runs, take the lead, whatever. The only one they won't use tonight is this guy because he pitched 2 innings yesterday, so they're not going to use him. All right, so that's going to do it for the Rockies. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Dolander back out, but the bullpen for the Rockies is tossing. And I'm going to look at the computer real quick and see who's got the most rest in their bullpen. If it'll let me do that. I'm not sure if it'll let me do that. Until I start the game, I might not be able to do that. So, not sure here. Let's see. Can I see the pitchers on here? Include pitchers. It's going to give me their batting average, so that's not going to do me any good. Let's see. I might be able to input this inning real quick. And maybe it'll let me get to the pitchers because I want to see who's got the most rest and whatnot. So I'm not overusing anybody. So let's see here. And that's a single there. Now I can go to the bullpen. Okay, so according to the Rockies bullpen, Jimmy Herget is not available because he pitched 2 innings yesterday. The two left-handers, Alexander and Peralta, have plenty of rest, but they're not very good. That's the problem. Halverson, Kinley have the most rest. So we're probably looking at Tyler Kinley. He's got the best rest. He hasn't pitched for a couple of days, so he's got the best rest out there. He will be in the bullpen, just in case. I could manage like that other channel and just wear one guy out. All right, so Jose Iglesias, again, not to be confused with Julio Iglesias, is stepping to the plate. That's a 6-7 right-hander. That's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Farmer. He's a 3. 3-11. He'll get to that. E5. The only errors are 16 and 18. Oh, got to re-roll that. That got stuck up there. There we go. And he makes the play. Farmer is good. 1 out for Jason Hayward. That is a 1-6 for Hayward, and he struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Dolander. Dolander looking to go 6 innings. And after the start he had, that would be amazing. Lockridge, 4-11. Ballpark single check, but that again should be an out. And it is. Line out to short. That'll do it for Dolander. He's going to go 6 innings. He could actually make it to 2-0 if the bullpen holds the lead. I know that's a big ask for the bullpen, but it's possible. So Dolander is going to go 6 innings, give up 5 runs. They were earned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. And looks like just the 1 walk from what I can see, and a total of 4 strikeouts. And Tyler Kinley will be coming in next inning. He will pitch the bottom of the 7th. Padres will need a new pitcher for the top of the 7th before we go any further. And it looks like it's going to be a right-hander, Jeremiah Estrada. Estrada, 4-5, 3.45 ERA, and 3 saves for Jeremiah Estrada. Estrada is on. He is a 0 hold, so that makes him still a +2. Kinley's a +6 hold, so that makes him a +5. All right, so we're going to start things off with the Mr. Nameless player, Chris Bryant. And that is a 4-7, and that's a strikeout. That's probably going to be Bryant's last at bat of the season right there. He's a strikeout victim. Here's Sean Bouchard, 5-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. Machado, 2 E18. 2 and a 13 is good. E18 and a third baseman on an E18. What are his error chances? 3, 11, 15, 16, and 17. That's another. That's a 6. Let me make sure that wasn't an error there. E18, was there a 6 there? No, 3, 11, and the rest. So good play for Machado. 2 down. For Michael Toglia, who hit the grand slam his last at bat. 6-5. Switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout to end the inning. So Estrada will do his one. These are 1-inning relievers, folks. So we're pretty much going to cap them at 1 inning, just to be realistic. So nothing doing for the Rockies. We go to the 7th inning stretch with the score: Rockies 6, Padres 5. And Tyler Kinley, he will go on to Atlanta later in the season. And I guess these are his combined numbers: 6-3, 3.96 ERA, and 3 saves for Tyler Kinley. And he will be facing Maldonado, Tatis, and Arias. Martin Maldonado. 1 for 2 with a double. That's a 3-7 against the righty. Struck him out. Back to the top of the order for Tatis. That is a 5-9, and that's a ground ball shortstop. X Tovar is a 2E16. 220, he'll get to that. E16 shortstop. The only errors are 15, 16, and 17. Just have to avoid those 3 numbers. And, of course, the 1 die gets hung up, so we'll try it again. There we go, and it's easy play there. 2 down. And that'll send up Luis Arias. 6-10, lefty. Pop up to first. Totally is there. And that'll do it. So we go to the 8th inning. It is still 6-5 Rockies. Padres will need a new pitcher out of their bullpen. Due up for the Rockies is Moniak, Stallings, and Veen. So they're going to go to another lefty, it would appear. They're going to Yuki Matsui, a left-hander. He is a +1 hold, makes him a +3. So Matsui will face the left hand. He was, they were 3-1, 398 in the save. And he will be facing Moniak, the Maniac, followed by Stallings and Veen, although it could pinch hit for Veen. In fact, I probably will, because we need a right-hander in there. So we go into our bench for Veen, and we're going to get Brenton Doyle. And Brenton Doyle will move to center with Moniak moving to left. So Moniak's going to end up going to left field. And Doyle will be the center fielder. So it's going to be Moniak, Stallings, and Doyle. Those are going to be your scheduled hitters. But Moniak, first of all. Matsui, 6-7. And he walks Moniak. Moniak, the Maniac, getting on again. And he's going to look to get a good lead with that +3 hold. So it's a 2 through 5. He gets the good lead. And he does not. So here's Jacob Stallings. Boy, if he could bunt, this would be a perfect time for it. But he's like most 2025 players, he's rated horribly for bunting. 2-6, and he strikes out instead. 1 away, and here comes Brenton Doyle, center fielder. That's a 2-11 for Doyle, and that's a ballpark blast. This could be Brian B., this could be the best managing on YouTube right here. You know how my pinch hitters love to hit home runs. 2-11 right here, 1-10, and it'll be gone. And it is. Was there any doubt? Brenton Doyle, a 2-run home run. You're not going to find managing like this anywhere else on YouTube. I don't give a crap who it is. If you want good managing, you come to this channel. If you want crappy managing, go watch somebody else. I don't have time for crappy managing. 2-run home run for Brenton Doyle. It is now 8-5 Rockies. I might get the Rockies 15 wins with my managing. Here's Tovar, 6-11, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. Matsui is a 3E0. 3 and an 18, he makes the play. 2 down, and here's Kyle Farmer. Farmer 2-8, and that's going to be a grounder to first to end the inning. But 2 insurance runs for the Rockies, courtesy of Brenton Doyle. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is now 8-5. Kenley back out. He does have fatigue factor of, well, he's only got a fatigue factor of 1, actually. So we're going to do like they do in real world, is keep him at 1, even though he went 3 up, 3 down. We're going to treat it as such. And they will go to Seth Halverson out of the bullpen. Will the Rockies? Seth Halverson. Halverson was 1-2, 4.99 ERA, and 11 saves. Seth Halverson. He is a -2, which makes him a -3. So that'll bring up Machado to start the inning. And that's a 3-9 for Machado. Fly to left, one away. Here's Gavin Sheets. Let's back this up a little. I think the cards might be getting cut off just a tad. So, just in case you missed it, 3-9 for Machado was a fly to left. Here's Gavin Sheets. That's a 4-10, and that's a ballpark single check, which once again, not going to happen. So that is, oh, it did happen this time. Wow, the 1 did come up, a 5% chance, and he gets the base hit. Double die comes up all the time with a 1, it seems like. This black one had been better, but even that has glitches. So now here's Bogarts. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Halverson. 2 down, and that'll take us to Iglesias. And that's a 5-6, and that's another strikeout for Halverson. And that will end the inning. Halverson's going to go 1 inning, give up a hit, nothing else, striking out 2, and they will turn it over to Victor Vodnik for the save in the 9th inning, assuming they don't add to the lead. Matsui goes his 1 inning, gives up a hit and a run with a walk and a strikeout, and now the Padres will need another pitcher for the 9th inning. And coming up for the Rockies, it is McMahon, Bryant, and Bouchard. So they're going to go to, who do they go to here? They're going to go to Jason Adam. He is a 8-4 with a 1.93 ERA, no saves. Probably get a pinch hitter for Bryant anyway as a DH to bring a lefty in there. So they're going to bring in left-hander Nick Martini to take over as the DH, so we don't need this nameless player card anymore. So Adams a +7, which makes him a +5. So we're going to have McMahon, Martini, and Bouchard. So Nick Martini will take over as the DH. But first things first, it is Ryan McMahon. That is a 5-9 left-hander, struck him out. McMahon out on strikes, and here's the pinch hitter Martini. And that's a 1-5, and he flies to right, 2 down. And here's Bouchard. Bouchard a 3-4, and he strikes out. So Adam comes in and does the job for sure. 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts. And now Victor Vodnik coming in for the Rockies to try to get the save. It would be a cheap save because it's a 3-run lead. That's about as cheap of a save as you can get. But the Rockies need all the cheapness they can get. Victor Vodnik. Vodnik on the 25 season was 4-3, 3.02 ERA and 10 saves. So Victor Vodnik. And let's see if the Rockies or the Padres want to go to any pinch hitters. Hayward, they will pinch hit for Hayward. He's terrible. 176 average, so they will definitely pinch hit for him with probably Tyler Wade or Oscar Gonzalez. Well, neither one of them are any good either. Or all their pinch hitters. They got 3 pinch hitters available, 220, 204, and 206. It's pretty bad. But they'll go with Tyler Wade because he's slightly better than the 176 for Jason Hayward. It's not by much, but just try to mix it up. They will go with Tyler Wade. So Tyler Wade will pinch hit against Victor Vodnik. Start the bottom of the 9th, 8-5 Rockies. 4-5, and that is a strikeout for Vodnik. 1 away. And that brings up Brandon Lockridge. 4-5 again, ground ball to short, 2 down. Last chance for the Padres rather. Martín Maldonado's 204 average, but what about the other catcher? They could bring him in to pinch hit. Elias Diaz. He's also 204, so they're both awful. So you may as well stick with Maldonado. At least he's got a double in this game. Last chance for the Padres. It's a 2-3, and that's a ground ball to third, and that'll do it. Victor Vodnik. How about that Rocky bullpen? 5 innings of shutout relief. Well, 3 innings of shutout relief from the Rocky bullpen, along with the last 2 from Dolander. So Vodnik gets the save. Dolander gets the win. Hart takes the loss. Vodnik goes 1 inning, strikes out 1, gives up nothing else. Rockies win it by the score of 8-5. And let's check the hits here for the Rockies. 8 runs and 9 hits and no errors. For the Padres, 5 runs, 9 hits, and I don't believe either team made an error in this game. So the Rockies improved to 5-9, way ahead of their 9-50 pace, that's for sure. So we'll see. They split the series with San Diego so far. The rubber game is tomorrow night. And if I look at tomorrow night's matchup, let's see who the pitching matchup is. Pitching matchup tomorrow night, which would be my birthday, April 13th. And that's a Sunday night, or probably a Sunday afternoon, I guess. And the pitching matchup will feature Kyle Freeland against Michael King for the Padres. So Freeland versus King tomorrow. And like I said, that's going to be tomorrow night after Robert finishes his inside pitch advanced playthrough game. Once he does that, probably, like I said, around 9:15 or so, we'll have the rubber game of the series, Rockies and Padres, before they travel north up Interstate 5 in California to take on the Dodgers starting on Monday for a 3-game set. But Rockies do it. Score of 8-5. And somehow, when we thought they were dead and buried, they were so far behind early on, but somehow they managed to come back. Credit to the Rockies pitching. Credit to Dolander for hanging in there as well. So that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.